My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. There are a couple of questions. First question is, in temple, we go to temple and we do a Pradakshina, go around the temple and then finally have darshan. What is this Pradakshina all about? First thing we have to understand, in our life, always we go around somebody. Either money, power, position, spouse, or children. Unconsciously, we keep going around somebody or around something. What is your center? Each of us have a center in life, some center. It can be money for somebody, it can be wife for somebody, it can be husband for somebody, it can be cricket match for somebody. Some center we keep going round and round and round and round all our life. So this going round and round is our nature. Going to a temple and going round the Garbhagriha of the temple is a reminder for us. What is the reminder? From centering our mind and life around the objects of the world, we have to center around God. We should go around God. Our life should be God-centered. This going round the Garbhagriha, going round the temple is called Pradakshina. The spiritual meaning of Pradakshina is our life should be centered around God, not around the objects of the world. How do we have center around God? Of course, we go to God temple and go round. Sometimes 1 round, sometimes 3 rounds, sometimes 5 rounds, sometimes 7 rounds, sometimes 21 rounds. We go around the temple and then go inside Garbhagriha for having darshan. Darshan is nothing but realizing God. But before you realize God, we should learn how to have our life centered around God. That is called Pradakshina. How do we center around God? Our day-to-day activity, whatever we do, a puja in the morning, or work which we do, or the service which we do, constantly it should be for God. Work can be converted into worship. Kayakave Kailasa. We can do service as an offering to God, service to living beings, seeing God in everybody. A puja, service, or work which we do, the God should be center of our life. Pradakshina means that I am making God as center of my life. Not the money, not the power, not the position, not the relationships. Can God be center of our life? Can we live our life? When it center means it's not about spending all the time in puja or something. When a mother goes to the work, office, at the background of her mind, the child is there. Take care of the child. Any action she's doing in the office, she's doing it. But the actions are for the child. Similarly, if we have our life centered around God, anything which we do is an offering to God for purification of my mind, chitta shuddhi. The God is the background for all my actions. That is called Pradakshina. Can God be in the background of all my activities? Can be God be in background of my all my activities? So I go to office. My boss shouts at me. Customer comes and shouts at me. There's a gain and loss in business. Can God be center of my life? Is it possible? So when boss shouts at you, can you keep your mind calm? Is your calmness of the mind increasing day by day? The more calm mind you have, you are becoming closer to God. And shouting a boss also can be helpful for spiritual evolution, developing the inner qualities. Loss of money, gain, business loss can be helpful for you to getting equanimity. Inner spiritual qualities we can build from outer interaction. To have God-centered life is called Pradakshina. Why number one, number three, number five? Number one, number three, number five. So many routes of Pradakshina we do. The one represents myself. Three represents my gross body, subtle body, causal body. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. 21 represents the 21 tattvas, principles. Like that, 1 round, 3 round, 5 round, 21 round, we try to go around the temple. What is the meaning of Pradakshina? Dakshina means right. Vama means left. Pradakshina. Vama means left side. In Sanskrit, Pradakshina means Dakshina means right side. Dakshina hasta. Vama means left side. The right side of our body is controlled by left side of our brain. Left side of our brain is the ego. Right side of our body is controlled by left side. That's why in the waking state, our Vedantic teachings is our right eye is active. Even though both eyes are active, right eye they give importance because right eye is connected to left side of the brain. Ego center. Pradakshina means our ego center is going towards the higher, which is God. Our ego center always goes to the lower. Matter, objects, relationships. Can the ego center go towards the higher? Pra means higher. Dakshina means right, higher side of right. So that's why we go around the temple. Right side is towards the, that means we go clockwise. Anti-clockwise we don't go. Clockwise when you go, our right side is towards the temple, Garbhagriha. So keeping our right side on the real right side is called Pradakshina. Right side is nothing but ego center. Our ego, can it be going round the God rather than the objects of the world, is called Pradakshina. Pradakshina has a word called Kshi. Kshi means Kshina. Kshina means removal. Kshina means it destroys, removes our vasanas and samskaras. That's why Pradakshina has a Kshi in the word. Na means, na is the verb, na is the symptom, this thing for jnana. So Pradakshina, Kshina. Kshina means it weakens our vasanas and enhances our wisdom. Na, Pradakshina. So in temples you have seen there's an outer circle, there's an inner circle, and finally you go inside a Garbhagriha. In the outer circle, many temples have sculptures. And you wonder what type of sculptures are these? A man and woman, some temptations. Why they are in the temple? So the Pradakshina means people wonder how can you have such sculptures in the temple? A woman who is not naked. What kind of temples are these? The outer layer of the temple represents our common vasanas and samskaras. Our mind constantly goes around them in the outer world. Going round in the outer circle is a reminder for us that from the worldly objects, we have to bring our mind back to God. Our mind should be centered with God. That is the going in circles, going around the temple. Inner circle you go. Some of the inner circles, there will be beautiful painting of saints, Mahatmas, divinity. So that is to remind us that we have to develop the divine qualities. Finally, we enter and stand in front of God. When you stand in front of the God, momentarily our mind becomes one with God. That's called darshana. Darshana means to see is to be. It's not seeing. Seeing is with sense organs. To see is to be. Our being becomes one with the divinity, one with the God. Some qualities of God we take within us, our beings. A bit of transformation happens in us. Some changes happen in our inner being. We take a imprint of God in our life. That is called darshana. So the pre-requirements for darshana is our mind should be centered in God in all our activities. Everything should have done as an offer into God. We should develop the first, this outer layer, outer ring. Inner ring is to develop the qualities of the saints and Mahatmas, remembering them. Then finally, we have a vision and darshan of God. Some aspect of us get changed. This is what is called Pradakshina. Is it clear? Is our life centered around God? This is the meaning of Pradakshina in a temple. So, we go to a Mahatma, a saint, a Gnani for darshan. Darshan is not just seeing, it's not a casual meeting. Darshan in a temple, God is not a casual meeting. The darshan transforms you internally, a little bit, powerfully. So when you go to a sadhu, when you go to a Mahatma, the presence does some changes within you. Your being gets changed. Seeing is being is called darshan. Darshan means the word, we think that seeing is darshan. No. Seeing becomes being. An aspect of Mahatma starts touching us. That's called darshan. So now we have another type of darshan, another type of pradakshina. If you remember, when we do puja, we do circling. We stand and we rotate where we are standing. That is called Pradakshina. Going round myself. It's called Pradakshina. Pradakshina is also called Atma Pradakshina. Pradakshina or Atma Pradakshina. Going round myself. So going round God is having our life centered around God. All work, our life centered around dharma, life centered on service, our job is centered on God, is going around the God in the temple. Going around myself is going around the inner self, Atma, Atma Vichara, self-enquiry. Who am I? That is symbolized by going around yourself. It's called Atma Pradakshina or Pradakshina. So our mind should be dedicated to enquiry. Who am I? Atma Darshana. That's called Pradakshina. Going round yourself. Going round the God is called, our life centered on God is called Jagaditaya. Because God is present in all aspects of living being. So Atmana Mokshartham is Pradakshina or Atma Pradakshina. Jagaditaya is going round the God in a temple. Atmana Mokshartham, Jagaditaya is indicated by the Pradakshina. Some people go to Tiruvannamalai. In Tiruvannamalai, they do Giri Pradakshina. They go around the hill, Giri. People go to Kailas Mansarovar and go around the Kailas Parvat mountain. It's called Giri Pradakshina. The mountain, Kailas mountain, we think that is a place where Shiva lives. Kailasa mountain is Shiva himself, not a place where Shiva lives. The entire world is Virat Rupa, or the gross form of God is called the world. The entire world is nothing but gross form of God called Virat. That's why in Vishnu Sahasranama, we say Vishwam. Vishnu has appeared as Vishwa. The gross form of Vishnu is Vishwa. The universe is Vishwa. So Kailasa Parvata, the mountain, Kailas mountain, is nothing but Shiva in the gross form. Himalayas is nothing but Virat Rupa of Shiva. Now why Himalaya? Why not some mountain near my house? That is also Shiva. But what happens is, the energy pattern near Kailas Parvat, there are various energy centers in the world. which are which help us in our spiritual evolution. These energy centers are called Shaktisthana. Kailas Parvat, Kailas mountain is also Shaktisthana. Similarly, Tiruvannamalai, the mountain Giri, is the Shiva in that form. Ramana Maharshi in that form. Ramana Shiva is the mountain. One day, Ramana Maharshi was looking at the mountain. Somebody asked, Maharshi, what are you looking at? Ramana Maharshi said, I am looking at myself. The self here is consciousness and existence. Consciousness we can see in the living being, existence we can see in the non-living beings. The mountain Tiruvannamalai, Giri, is the existence aspect of the existence aspect appearing as a mountain. And there is a story of Tiruvannamalai. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara had a fight. Vishnu and Brahma had a fight. Who is greater? Then they see a big pillar of light. That is, light is nothing but Shiva. They ask the pillar of light, please tell me who is greater. The pillar of light says, whoever finds either my top or bottom is great. So Brahmaji immediately sits on his fan and goes up, 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 up to find the top. Vishnu takes the form of Varaha, boar, and digs deep into the earth to find out where is the bottom. Brahmaji cannot find the top, Vishnu cannot find the bottom. But Brahmaji finds one flower falling that's called Kedaki Pushpa. I don't know what is the name in English. So the Kedaki Pushpa, Brahmaji asks, did you see the top? The Kedaki Pushpa says, I didn't see the top. But Brahmaji says, please do one thing. You help me to tell a lie that I have seen the top and I am the witness. Brahmaji has seen the top, I am the witness. You tell the lie. Ketake Pushpa agrees. So Brahmaji comes and tells Shiva that I have seen your top. See, there's a witness here called Ketake Pushpa. Vishnu comes back and says, I'm not able to see the bottom. I'm not able to see the bottom. I've lost. Then the pillar of light which laughs and says, Vishnu has telling the truth. So Brahmaji is telling the false lie. There will be puja for Vishnu, but there will be no puja for Brahmaji, and the Kedaki Pushpa will not be used for puja. Now, what is this pillar of light? Pillar of light is called awareness, Atma Jyoti. For Atma Jyoti, there is no beginning and no end. It is the self-illuminating. That light is called Atma Jyoti. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyek Jyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham. That Atma Jyoti or awareness is that pillar of light. And Ramana Maharshi says, this is the place, Tiruvannamalai, where that light appeared to Brahmaji and Vishnu, where they could not find out the top and bottom. So that light around that mountain, and now what is that mountain? Mountain is the gross form of the light. Light is pure awareness. In the gross form, it appears like a Tiruvannamalai hill. The divine light appears as a Tiruvannamalai hill. So going round that hill, Pradakshina, is having our mind centered around God. More importantly, Ramana Maharshi is nothing but Arunachal Shiva. And what is the teaching of Ramana Maharshi? Self-enquiry. Who am I? The mountain of Tiruvannamalai attracts seekers from all over the world. Going around the mountain is seeking your inner self, Atma Vichara. Who am I? To finally discover I am the pure awareness, light of the self, Atma Jyoti. So that's why people go around the mountain. And they go around the mountain on full moon day. Full moon signifies the mind. Moon is mind in Vedanta. The full moon signifies the mind which is fully aware. With the full moon, full moon signifies the mind full moon signifies the mind, attentive mind, going around the mountain called Tiruvannamalai is representing self-enquiry. With the full awareness, attention, I have to do self-enquiry. The teaching of that is Giri Pradakshina. Anybody has a question on Pradakshina?
Hari Om Guruji, Santosh here.
Hi Santosh.
Guruji, you were just explaining about what about Dvajastambha, and whenever we go to Shiva temple there is a Baswa, and when we go to Mata temple we see lion, and we go to Vinayaka temple we see the mouse. And Dvajastambha, what is the significance of Dvajastambha and this?
The temples are nothing but centers of energy. Okay. Dvaja is mounted on the temple, Dvajastambha, right? Dvaja is a flag.
Yes.
What is the flag on a temple? Like in India, the government officers, they have a flag. What does the flag represent? The flag represents, in the temple, it's dharma. The flag of dharma or flag of jnana, flag of bhakti is mounted on the temple. The stamba or the pillar itself attracts the energy in certain way for distribution within the temple. Is it clear?
Yeah, okay.
I'll take a separate class on temple architecture, how temples are the energy centers. So right now, please understand that the pillar, that Dvajastambha is like a energy. It pulls the energy in certain way for the distribution in the temple. So then there is Nandi. This Nandi is Vahana, right? Vahana of Shiva. So Nandi Vahana, that means Shiva rides on bull. The bull called Nandi, the name Nandi means bliss. Nandi represents, bull represents the dharma. Dharma is majestic. Dharma has Satya, Ahimsa, and Shanti, Prema are the four legs. So bull represents dharma. Shiva or Paramatma rides on that dharma, means Nandi. Now if you see in Nandi temple, Shiva temple, Nandi is sitting and watching Shiva. And we put a hand like this and look at Shiva from that point of view, right? So there, yes, Nandi represents a total surrender to God, patiently waiting. That should be our life. We cannot force God to come into our life. We should be surrender and patiently wait. Then looking at Shiva from using two hands. That means look at Shiva from the angle of Nandi. How Nandi views Shiva. Nandi is viewing Shiva. Use the viewpoint of Nandi to view Shiva. What is the viewpoint of Nandi? My Lord, Bhagavan, you know what is best for me. I have totally surrendered to you. Whatever you do, I'll accept it. Whatever happens in my life is your blessing. Bless me. I'm waiting for your grace. With that grace, Nandi is looking at Shiva. Nandi is a symbol of patience. Nandi is a symbol of bliss. Nandi means Ananda. Blissfully, a devotee waits for grace of God. And Nandi is not looking here and there. Nandi is only looking at Shiva. Attention is always on God. With that viewpoint, we have to have darshan of God. That means there's a teaching for us. Our life should be centered on God, Ishvara, Shiva. Is that clear?
Yes, Guruji. Thank you.
Anybody, any questions? Vasudev, Asha.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಗುರುಜಿ ನಾನು
So Pradakshina had given another meaning that Mumtaj was saying. Sometime I told earlier. We go to the temple, we go and have darshan of God. So once we have darshan of God, our mind gets focused on God. Some of the divine qualities come in our life. Then we come out and have a Pradakshina. So basically, it is this way of saying. If mind can hold on to some reality, then it can drop something. If I am able to, it's like this. If I hold on to this truth, I cannot have this fruit. So hold on to God, have the darshan of God. So then you can drop other things, vasanas and samskaras, as you go around the temple outer Pradakshina. So this is the answer. This is the way. Like Pradakshina can be done two ways. One is go around the temple and then go inside, or go to the temple, go have darshan and then go out. So both ways, outer going around outer is to drop the vasanas and samskaras. Going around outside is have our mind centered on God. So if you go and have darshan of God, then go Pradakshina. That means hold on to God and then drop your vasanas and samskaras and make a determination that my mind will be centered on God. Yeah. So that covers the Pradakshina. Anybody has any questions? So when you do Pradakshina in temple, have you all these ideas? Or just go around fast? So going 3 rounds. There are sometimes we go 1 round, sometimes 3 round, like that, and 21 rounds, and many each has some significance. Going 1 round is single-mindedly, I'm offering my all activities, my life to God. Going 3 round is my gross body, subtle body, causal body, I'm dedicated to service of God. Also it means I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness. Nanembudu nanalla, ee deha manabuddhi nanalla, sachidananda shivanamnane. With that understanding, we approach God. Any other questions? Otherwise, you can go to the next question.